Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is what I like to call Coach's Corner, and it's basically where I like to just share as much as free information as possible to help people on their fitness journey. And sometimes I like to talk about my own experiences and my opinions to see if anyone relates or agrees. And today I wanted to talk about something that I feel will kind of break a little stigma around postpartum and fitness. I'm going to say for my own experience that pregnancy not only changed my physique for the better, significantly improved my strength in the gym. The reason why that is because I honestly used both of my pregnancies as a bulk, and it was very unintentional. I was never the person that did cut and bulk cycles in the gym. I kind of just ate to fuel my lifts and kept it really simple. When I got pregnant with my first daughter, I did gain 85 pounds, but I had been lifting since I was 17, and I lifted all through college, and when I got pregnant with her, I lifted my entire pregnancy. So when I gained the 85 pounds, I was slightly delusional on what all that mass was. I was fully convinced that like half of that was just the placenta and the fluids plus the baby, the breast milk, and I thought maybe 20 pounds, max 30 pounds of that was weight that I would actually have to lose myself. When 3 months postpartum rolled around, I had this expectation that I was pretty much gonna be 20, 30 pounds away from my pre-baby weight, and that was really not the case. We have to stop putting expectations on our body in general for what we think it will do and look like when we're postpartum, because I did that my first pregnancy, and for me personally, once I hit the 3-month postpartum mark and I wasn't hitting the expectations that I thought my body would look like postpartum. I had no idea what to even expect the first time I was postpartum when it came to how weight loss went. And there was just also a lot of factors into it. I had never had to lose a substantial amount of weight ever in my life either. So when I had weighed myself and I was 185, I had assumed that, okay, well, this is baby weight. This is a lot of inflammation and fluids. So 3 months, everything will just literally, I thought would just come out and I would go back to, maybe not back to pre-pregnancy weight, but relatively close. And when that didn't happen, I was very, very shocked. I realized that I did a real bulk and I had to do a real cut to make up for it. I started that process. I was like 3 months postpartum. I think I was sitting at 175, maybe 185. And my goal was, I believe, 135, 140. So I'm doing my cut, and as I'm cutting, I'm actually starting to see a lot of like muscle mass in my legs that I had not had when I was not pregnant, like pre-pregnancy. I had not had muscle like that in my legs. I was significantly noticing them. And same thing with my arms and my back muscles. But before my daughter turned 1, I got pregnant again with my second. And I told myself I wasn't going to do as much damage as I did the first pregnancy, gaining 85 pounds. So I gained 65 pounds the second time around. But after I finished that cut after my second daughter, I didn't realize how much muscle I built between both pregnancies and even postpartum after I had my first daughter and I was lifting weights through all that, gaining muscle still, getting pregnant again, lifting through all of that. I gained so much muscle mass because what people don't realize that even if you're not pregnant, let's just say you are someone who wants to gain a significant amount of muscle mass, when you want to gain that, you're going to have to accept that the scale is going to have to go up. And when the scale goes up, unfortunately, you are going to gain fat as well. So on this process of bulking, you're going to be gaining fat and it's going to be covering up your muscles. So in your mind, you're going to be looking and saying, man, I'm just gaining weight and I see no muscles. I'm lifting in the gym and I just look fluffy and I'm just gaining weight. And this is if you're not pregnant. But if you were to just stick with that for as long as a pregnancy is, let's just say round it up to a year, and then you were to do a cut for a year and then go back to a bulk for a year and then cut again for a year, that would be able to get people a lot farther with their strength and their physique than they realize. But so many people are just simply uncomfortable with the scale going up and looking a little fluffy. And I personally would say that if I had not gotten pregnant, I probably wouldn't have gained as much muscle. And that's why I say it helped my body for the better, because I probably wouldn't have been the type of person to go on a bulk. I probably would have just kept doing the same thing I was doing, just eating to fuel my lifts. But I probably would have left so much muscle growth in the tank. It probably would have taken me an extra 4 years of lifting to get the muscle mass that I had built when I was pregnant. Another thing people don't realize when it comes to bulking is that as your body weight goes up, so do your lifts, and that's because your strength is relative to your body weight. So if you weigh 130, it'll be, let's just say we're doing back squats. If you weigh 130, being able to squat your body weight should be a goal of yours. But let's just say you're doing a bulk and you were squatting, when you were 130, you were squatting 130 for maybe 5 reps. But let's say you're doing a bulk and you bounce up to 155 and you put 130 on the bar. It's going to feel lighter because you weigh more than that. That's not your body weight. So it should be easier for you to move that weight when it's not your body weight. But if you were to go on a cut and go back down, that weight would maybe not feel as challenging as it did for the first time you were 130. Weight goes down, so do your lifts, and that's just because it's all relative to your body weight. So you gain a lot of strength in that time where your body weight is over your normal body weight because you can push more weight. And then you're pushing more weight and you're lifting weight that you wouldn't have been able to do when you were 130, and then you cut back down to 130 and you just have all that muscle there from when you were 150. And all you did was shed the fat. That's what I really wish moms would realize when it comes to their postpartum fitness, is that you do not need to be afraid of what your body is looking like when you're pregnant. But you're someone who is lifting and you know you want to lift when you're postpartum, and you know you're going to be consistent and you know how to track your macros. You need to just be comfortable with the fact that I'm going to gain weight right now, but on the opposite side of this, when I shed, I'm going to look beautiful. Being a mom and being fit does not have to be scary, and it doesn't have to be this space of unknown. And I really want to break the stigma that the goal when you're postpartum should always be that you're chasing your pre-pregnancy body, because you might be surprised that the body you were building underneath your pregnancy weight, and when you're postpartum and you lose it, you might unveil this beautiful physique that you've actually been wanting all this time. If you're pregnant, you cannot be scared of the scale going up because it's going to be inevitable. But what you can do is use that weight to gain muscle. Make it a goal for yourself that instead of chasing your pre-baby body, you're only going to chase a better version of your pre-baby body. Look at your pre-baby body as your before and make it so that your postpartum body is the after. Because if you told me when I was pregnant with my first daughter and gained 85 pounds, if you had told me that I was doing all the right things and that I was going to end up having insane strength later on, I wouldn't have believed you, because I truly thought I had done so much damage to my body. And I actually didn't do damage at all. I actually came out stronger each time. And I think we need to really write our own narrative. Our postpartum experiences are going to be, because we are lumping all experiences in one, and it being detrimental to our mind, to our physique, and we really can rewrite the narrative that we actually come out stronger and better after pregnancy. Pregnancy doesn't have to be a time where you lose strength and you lose who you are, and then when you're postpartum, you're trying to catch up to the version of you that before you had kids, while also trying to become a new version of yourself because you're a mom now. If you want to lift while you're pregnant, lift while you're pregnant. If you want to lift when you're postpartum, lift while you're postpartum. Nothing wrong with wanting to lose weight when you're postpartum, or wanting to gain strength, or be in the gym, or track your macros. There's nothing wrong with wanting to take control of your body again, because you were pregnant for 9 months, honestly 10. Everything that you did was to protect the baby, and now the baby is out and you have your body back to yourself, and it is totally okay to want to transform yourself and put yourself first, and you don't have to feel shame because you want to lose weight. There is great strength in feeling confident, comfortable in your skin. There's nothing wrong with chasing that for yourself. It doesn't have to look any kind of way, and you don't have to lose any amount of weight at any amount of time. But if something that you want for yourself is to continue your strength and continue changing your physique as a mom, you are totally capable of doing that. And whatever narrative is being written that you can't do that is actually fully wrong.